Hi, it's Alicia Soikawa, and today I want to talk about behind the scenes. Why does everybody love behind the scenes with anything in life? And in particular, people that do business, like in real estate or musicians or anybody that's artistic that has like a forward-facing, a public-facing persona. Everybody's so curious what's going on at home, what's going on behind the scenes. So I think the whole world of TikTok and the whole world of, social media has given us a glimpse. Like we had documentaries in the past and things like that, but it fascinates me when you really think about it. What is it about behind the scenes that's so curious for people? So I'm gonna say one of the realest challenges that realtors face and working women face is what we have to put forward, front facing. Like I remember growing up, like my mom saying to me like, don't embarrass your family. Like when we would go to church and things like that, like we had to have this persona, but behind like everyone's screaming and yelling. Another example would be like everyone calls like the Instagram look and pose, but really what's going on is so different. So I think there's even a saying like, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, or something like that. There's some kind of fun phrases like that. But this video, if this is speaking to you, this video in particular is talking about the true real challenges that realtors in business or business women face is really behind the scenes. Because in the front, we can make that Christmas card perfect. I mean, I have this Christmas card here, where'd it go? From 2023. And look how perfect our little family looks, right? All perfect and just looks so cute. But little do you know, like I was screaming my head off to get everybody outside to take this picture so that we could have the picture to send out to all my clients so that everyone could see how great our little family is. And you really wanted to strangle everybody, right? I think so many moms can be in that same situation. And then I laugh because I'm also that one commenting on social media, oh, what a fabulous picture. You guys look like you're so in love. And it takes me back to when they did the behind the scenes on like the swimsuit issues of Sports Illustrated. And when they interviewed the women after, you found out that it was like 30 degrees and it wasn't warm and hot. And it looked like they were having like the best time of their life. So ask yourself this. Where in your business are you doing this? Where in your business are you posing in a certain way, but really what's going on behind the scenes is so crazy. And there's that rub and that friction and resistance on how do you bridge that gap for yourself so you can have a better quality of life. Because ultimately, this kind of piggybacks on another video I did about self-care. And I think one of the biggest issues we face with self-care, in particular with women and empowering women, is that we feel like we have to show up in a certain way. We feel like we can't be showing up without our makeup on, without our hair done. And look at me here, I have my hair done. But this is old hair. Like I got it done when I had my hair done this week, so it's just left over. But also I put makeup on, I put lipstick on before we did the video shoot because I want to be perceived professional. I want to be perceived in a certain light, right? And I'm not saying it's bad or good. There really is no judgment. I'm just saying to you guys, think about it on how do you want to show up? Is that draining you or is that feeding you, number one, or number two? And then also, what is the challenges that you face? For me, I want to talk about the challenges that I face, and I don't know if this lands with you and how I've overcome that, is that I have found a circle of women, and I've spoken about these beautiful women that I get to have the privilege to meet with every single Saturday morning. And it's almost serendipitous how it happened. It started as a book club for a profession, and we are all in the same business in different marketplaces, and we show up in our pajamas most of the time, unless we're getting ready to go for a showing or appointment. And we just show up as our true selves, exposed and vulnerable. And in the beginning, if someone is new, because we've had different women come and go, they kind of have that armor is what I call it. And I'm asking you, do you have an armor that you wear and you're not allowing people to see the true self that you are? For us, we show up, and I think it's really beautiful because when we show up, we come in place of vulnerability. And I know one of my favorite authors is Brene Brown, and she talks about vulnerability. And I think it's really lacking in our world today. And that's a challenge that realtors face, or working women in general, that have to show a really tough front, or that everything is great because you're afraid you're going to lose clients. And I'm going to give you some examples of where this showed up in my life and how I overcame them. And then I look at, the beauty of everything happening as it's supposed to be, and trusting that process too for you is so important. So I would say, first of all, evaluate, do an audit. We're going to talk about a lot of audits on Where are you really? How are you showing up really? Ask for your friends and family, what do you think about me online? Like, do you think I'm showing up as myself? Do you think I'm not showing up as myself? And I'm saying this because I think we all use social media to connect. It's social, to have a connection, and also to reach people that don't necessarily know us, especially if you're doing it for business. And I will tell you, I don't believe that I would be as present on social if I wasn't doing the business that I do. And that's the truth. These videos that I do are intentional. I post intentionally. I want to share. I want to connect. So I want people to feel comfortable with me and trusting me with working with them in their beautiful home purchase or sale. And also for coaching, I want agents that I coach or people that are going to look me up to go, that's the person I want helping me. So there's a purpose for me. There's an end game. So first of all, figure out, what is this social media doing for you? I think Mel Robbins even spoke recently saying social media is not for your friends and family. Social media is for people that don't know who you are, so they can learn to know, like, and trust you to do business, right? So if that's what you're using it for, fantastic. You're using it exactly how you're supposed to use it. And I did a video in the past as well about what you should post and not post, and what you should share and not, in my opinion. And I think sometimes people face that as well, as that sometimes they think they're being real and showing everything, and instead they're showing themselves to the people that they're trying to get to know, like, and trust in a way that's repelling that. So kind of think about, what are you putting out there, and what is the real challenge is that sometimes we work with our friends and family and people that refer us, and if we show up weak in our mind or vulnerable or in a way kind of falling apart and that everything is not in order, that it may be perceived that we can't handle their business. So there's that fear. That's probably the number one fear. It's all about fear. And fear is what? It's not anything real. It's just as like faith. So if you can have faith that the right people will find you regardless of what you post, and trust, I believe in God and trust in God that it's going to come to you at the right time, and believe that you're exactly where you are, this is how you overcome those challenges. Because there is that little voice in your head, and it's imposter syndrome. There's so many ways you can call about it, but I wanted to bring this up because I think people don't even realize that this is happening in their life and business, that they're just facing this challenge, and they have this, like, the secret life behind the scenes, and then they have this front life. And I would challenge you to make the behind life very similar to your front life, and then this business and life is so much more easier. You don't carry that weight and the albatross of having a show to put on in front of everybody. Just be yourself. And if people don't like you, then they're not for you. But I believe and trust that what's for me will find me. And I've said that quote in the past as well. And what's not for me, I'll be protected from. And that's happened and shown up for me over and over and over again. I'm in a journey now of kind of restructuring my business. I've just hired a full-time virtual assistant through Summit Solutions. I'm so excited because she's the perfect fit, and her disc is perfect, and she starts next week. So when you watch this, she'll probably be onboarded, but I'm so stoked because I know that I was doing it the same way over and over again, thinking that something different was going to happen. So that's the definition of insanity. I was being insane, but that's a real life challenge I faced, right? I had issues behind the scenes, but I didn't want to let anybody know that this is going on. And how am I going to navigate all these things and grow at the same time while, balancing all the things, the balls in the air, and showing up for my family, showing up as a wife, showing up, as a leader, showing up as a coach. Oh, how dare I coach these people when I'm struggling, right, is what I'm saying. But we all universally have the same human experience in so many ways. Everybody has difficulties, whether they're sharing with me or not. I would guess 9 times out of 10, these people that appear to have perfect businesses and lives probably have some of the biggest, craziest stuff going on that you don't even know about. So not that I'm trying to say you need to share all your dirt in the world, because a lot of times, sometimes it's like way too much, overshare. I talked about that. But I think if you can bridge the gap a little bit and allow yourself to be a human being, you might be surprised that who you attract to you is so much more quality and who you want to work with. And there's a feeling of kindredness spirit, I think, when you can say, yes, I too do go through that and struggle. And how beautiful that is, because we're all going through the same human experience. So this video really is about figuring out for you behind the scenes, are you being the same person? Are you being that quality person in front of the camera as you are behind the camera? And also allow people behind the scenes. Everyone wants to know what's going on. It's this challenge that people face and struggle, and it's scary. Everyone doesn't want to show themselves first thing in the morning and getting up and not being all made up. I certainly show plenty of that on my social. You can check it out if you want to check my social media. Plenty of times I have glasses, pajamas, my house is a hot mess. And I really don't care, because that's really who I am. And if there's an issue with that, then we're probably not for each other. Do you see what I'm saying? So definitely think about that. Have an evaluation of where you are in your life. And I feel like if you are able to remove some of that, because I really struggled with that early on in the business and I felt very, very alone. I think that's the number one challenge that agents face as well, is that fear and then also being lonely. It's a very lonely business as in real estate. It's a lonely business in entrepreneurship. And the more you want to do and the more you want to grow, there's less people I feel like that are in that same circle that can understand where you're coming from. So for me, my Saturday morning group has been huge. So I honestly would recommend you, number one, find a group of women or men, if you're a man watching this, and find your group that you can share with unconditionally without judgment, and find a place to put that, whether it's at church, whether it's your close-knit friends, that they don't care what you're doing. I think it's really important to be able to show who you are, to release that for you as a human being. That's number one. Especially women need to release. Number two would be, don't let yourself be lonely. Like, share what you need to share, and I think that's the hugest piece. And number three is that give yourself grace and navigate it as you go. And behind the scenes can be absolutely so much more beautiful as the front perfect video as well. So I hope that's helpful. It's a little bit scatterbrained today, but I just had those thoughts, and I really think it's important in looking at behind the scenes of what is your life is about, and what are you trying to create and navigate. And if you're finding yourself really alone and having to put the show on, stop and figure out what the real challenge is and question what that is and reevaluate. And you can change your mind at any time. That's the beauty of business and life. All right, till next time. If you love this video, like and subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that, then, because I would love to grow this channel to help women, especially women, grow in their life and empower you guys out there. All right, take care. Peace.